Here's what I made for breakfast today with 2 children while pregnant. Something super simple that we could just grab and eat. I didn't feel like eggs or yogurt. The kids didn't want eggs. The kids didn't want yogurt. I've had this muffin mix for about a month, and I guess it was time to finally make it. Martha White muffin mix usually runs about $1.30. So I got 2 packs for under $3. All I needed was 1 cup of milk for 2 packs of the muffin mix. When I bought the muffin mix, I did pick up 2 different flavors. It's $9.99 right now. Also, don't mind my sink, I have to wash my dishes.
RFK Jr. probably will be putting that woman in a camp. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Rudowski here of the bestpoliticalshow.com, and we are going to be going live for the next 2 hours discussing all the latest and craziest news developing right now, as of course there is never a shortage of things to talk about, as what is happening right now is pretty absolutely crazy, as all the right people are freaking out against Donald Trump's appointment. There's a major attack on Matt Gaetz, as The View is offering actual apologies, legal apologies. We'll get into those in a little bit, as World War III is brewing and Jaguar is going woke with Destiny also saying some interesting things against Tim Pool, as there's a lot of updates surrounding the J6ers. We'll be getting into that, plus a lot more all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like what we do and want to support us, go sign up right now to LukeUnfiltered.com, as of course members get the ability to call in to the show. We appreciate you guys sharing the broadcast, and the more that you guys share it, the more really awesome, incredible people we have here in studio for you to be a part of the larger kind of information live breakdown, as of course when the news breaks, we're usually right on top of it, as of course we're watching all the social medias during the broadcast, and we're also talking to you directly, the members of LukeUnfiltered.com, as of course you guys get the ability to call into the show, and you could do that just by going to the Telegram channel when you're in the members area, letting me know that you want to call in, and you guys get to be a part of the show. We don't tell you what you could say or cannot say or can ask or cannot ask or promote or not promote. It's a free-for-all that you get to be a part of. That could be you, just by simply signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. As of course, first-time callers also get free products from wearechange.shop. You get to pick whatever product you want from our great store that also helps supports us at the same time. We appreciate any and all super chats, but we prefer you guys use mysuperchat.com, a service that only gives a 3% service charge. We're also raising legal defense funds right now because we are in some hot water with the IRS, and that's why we are fundraising with our Make America Not Fat Again hats that are only exclusively available. There's only 100 of them, and I will personally sign them for people that go to savelukenow.com and help me get a lawyer so I don't go to jail. Someone who also has other kind of let's just say legal issues and trials and tribulations with the state is our guest, and that of course is Adam, the lectern guy. Adam, for the people who don't know you, who are you and how would you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm a lectern guy. I'm known as a terrorist in some groups and a hero in others. I prefer father of 5, married to a beautiful woman for coming on 14 years, and just a regular guy who saw the country going down the toilet and had to say something.
Yep. Great to have you here. There's a lot of updates, specifically with the kind of J6s. We had a liberal on yesterday. We were arguing, and we were talking about all the leftist violence that was kind of committed by the far left. And then our liberal friend, our guest here, was like, but what about J6? They were like, oh, really? You're going to start that one? We'll get into it. But there's a lot of details that you were able to release, that a lot of other people released around that event, that definitely paints a totally different picture of what the corporate media wants you to believe about that particular event. So thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure, always an honor, especially with all the crazy stuff that you've been through your life and your experiences. So thank you so much. Simon Gudik is also here. We kidnapped him. He's not leaving. He thinks there's a plane somehow that's going to take him away to Brazil in a few minutes. That's what he thinks. We'll see. Who are you?
Oh, so I'm Dr. Simon, and I'm from Holland. Now I moved to Brazil, so I hope I'm going to get back there today. Yeah, at least there are rumors that a plane is leaving around 10 p.m., so I have to leave earlier. Sorry, guys. And in Brazil, we have our own version of January 6th. It's actually just like a copy paste of the events here in the US. So I'm looking forward to what Adam has to tell us today.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's almost like a parallel kind of universe with the same kind of things happening all the way in Latin America. That, of course, happened here in America, as of course you also are donning the golden testicles. We just released some very interesting videos for members of LukeUnfiltered.com that we just published, so go check those out. They're very alluring and very funny. Martha really appreciated the title of one, right?
It's so great to have, anyways. Hi, Luke.
How are you? Who are you?
I'm Martha Bueno, an activist and sometimes your co-host, and you can find me at Bueno for Miami on Instagram and X.
Steph's in the house. She has some very serious questions about Michael Jackson that she's going to be asking later on, right, Steph?
No, not really. No, but this is Steph. We are change pushing the buttons.
And Steph's going to dominate the conversation, right, Steph?
I'm not dominating anything.
Come on. As of course,
Steph,
everyone...
I bet lots of guys want you to dominate some stuff.
No comment, Martha.
Martha, control yourself. This is a family-friendly show here with not so family-friendly guests. But we make it work as best as we can here. And, we don't curse. We're very family-friendly for the first hour. Second hour, we go to, another place, another platform that allows us to say whatever we want to say. And we definitely do take full advantage of that, as that's probably where we are going to be discussing the Jaguar controversy and the Tim Pool Destiny controversy as well, which is definitely going to be something interesting to kind of delve into. But again, so much news. I think overall, other than the World War III kind of scenario unfolding that I covered earlier today, the biggest story is the freakout from the establishment when it comes to a lot of the top picks from Donald Trump to be in his future administration. I thought CNN and seeing John Bolton and seeing now Nikki Haley also had some interesting comments that she just said a couple minutes ago. Seeing all these people freak out kind of shows me that Trump is hitting the nail on the head. I think he's doing the right things. And it could even be correlated and related to why the kind of intelligentsia, the deep state, is kind of ratcheting up tensions inside of Europe right now, kind of signaling to him like, hey, I know you want to change everything, but we're still in power here, and we're going to do really crazy stuff if you dare to hold us accountable for our egregious illegal actions that we have committed against you. I think that's what's going on. That's just my own kind of initial reaction to it. I don't know how you guys are feeling. There's also a clip of CNN freaking out specifically about RFK. We're going to play that in a little bit. But it'll be nice to get your guys' kind of perspective on this, because I do believe that Trump is absolutely signaling very significantly massive change in Washington, D.C., massive upheaval, massive reckoning of all of their horrible policies that they have implemented against the American people for far too long. Now we're signaling and we're told that's going to change. Will it? Especially now with the potential of World War III. What do you guys think?
God, I hope so.
I think this is a complete departure from Trump 1.0. His hiring practices, his staffing choices, his first turnaround was not, I think, what anyone really wanted to see long-term. Bolton was just watching that man cry about some of these picks. God, I mean, that's what I want for Christmas. Santa really delivered.
Oh, yes.
And
early.
Early. For
Very
Thanksgiving
excited.
this year.
Yes. I'm thankful that John Bolton doesn't have a job. But we see these things like Matt Gaetz getting appointed. When we look at these people, our Gabbards, our RFKs, these are populists. Mm-hmm. These are not people who are so far left, so far right. They're populists, and that's the reason why a lot of people showed up to vote, because Trump brought these people along. Elon's one of these people. I do think they have their idiosyncrasies, and their idiosyncrasies are what the government's actually afraid of it, because RFK is, we're not going to do seed oils, we're going to get our health back in order. That worries them.
Yeah, we saw a very interesting article from Rolling Stone talking about how the Trump camp isn't really happy with Elon Musk, according to anonymous sources. I don't believe any of it. I do believe they're trying to kind of create a wedge. They're trying to create a divide amongst a lot of the America First crowd. There are some other picks, as you're going to see, that we're not too happy about, that we're going to kind of go into in just a little bit. But I think RFK Jr. is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, juggernaut that's going to be put in a major position of power that really is going to shake things up. This is why we decided to play that kind of very bold lady in the beginning of this broadcast, because it definitely does seem like there's going to be a larger upheaval and a larger change to a lot of people's own kind of personal actions and decisions that now will be kind of met with an actual kind of advocate for them.
Yes.
That's rare, and that doesn't usually happen in American democracy, as the left calls it.
I want to see Brennan Herrera as the director
Yes.
of the ATF.
Please.
That right there,
Immediately.
everyone
Yes.
needs to get online and tweet that out. Brennan Herrera, ATF director. He needs that position. We need him in there. The NFA needs to be repealed.
I've been tweeting about it for many days now. Sean Strickland just retweeted my tweet calling for him to be the head of the ATF. I agree. I messaged him. I'm like, Brandon, you got to come to Miami right now. We got to get you outside of Mar-a-Lago. We got to get you on all the podcasts.
Yep.
And he's like, I got a tour. And I'm like, that's gay, dude. Like, what are you doing? Get out here. Let's advocate for you. Let's get you out there to the general public. Let's make this a popular demand, because RFK Jr. created a website where people get to vote and pick on the different kind of personalities that they want to see in government. Someone nominated me. They're voting for me too. I appreciate the votes. I will take it seriously. If I am ever offered a position that I am absolutely not qualified for, I will take it immediately. Full transparency's sake.
That might be your best qualification, though, is that you're not qualified for it.
Absolutely. I got a degree. But other than that, like, I don't even. I'm not qualified for anything. I barely could run this independent media organization correctly. So I think I'm perfect for any kind of government position. I will take it immediately. So thank you for all the people upvoting me in RFK's website. I forgot the website. I tweeted it out a couple days ago, but he's on that website too, and he's number one. So I made sure I voted for him as well. But the changes that would happen would be so incredible under his leadership, so common sense, so just please immediately necessary for America, for our Second Amendment, and for the future of this country. I couldn't agree more with that selection. Sorry, I cut you off because I got too excited.
You're good. All of those things. Agreed.
Yes. Simon, what do you think?
Simon's always so talkative.
As a disarmed former European who is now a disarmed Latin American.
Yeah, I've always been disarmed. I don't think anything about this. So actually, I don't know a lot about American politicians, to be fair, because I don't like politicians. So I don't know politicians in Europe. I don't know politicians in South America.
We have that in common. I don't like politicians either.
Yeah, no. So I like RFK, obviously, and I think Trump was the best pick. But all these picks now, I know Matt Gaetz, yes, of course, but then that's where it stops. And I know who the assholes are, Bolton, you know. I think that's more important whom you don't want nowadays. You know, Fauci, piss off. Like, you know, this is all you're gonna know. But otherwise, I'm not a big fan of politicians, so I'm not a cheerleader.
Yeah, Fauci's nemesis, arch rival, RFK Jr., now being head of the HSS. And CNN really isn't happy about it, so we're going to cue up this clip of them going on their 2 minutes of hate against him.
To steer clear of politics, but this really isn't about politics, because this is somebody who has been, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has been pushing quackery, who has been pushing lies, who has been pushing conspiracy theories. You've been talking to experts in the health community.
I think he said Dr. Fauci wrong, personally, but let the clip continue.
Medical community, preparing for him, RFK Jr., to be given some sort of role in health. What have they said to you?
First of all, no respect on Sanjay Gupta. He is a two-faced liar, as we saw through the Joe Rogan podcast, where he was on. He was drilled, he was questioned, and then he literally, we got to be family friendly here, but there was an incident with him on Joe Rogan, clearly setting the record straight, and then going quickly on CNN, and then lying about that particular record as well. We can't talk about that record because we're on YouTube. Anyway, Sanjay Gupta, no respect for you.
Well, you know, it's not often that the entire medical and public health community is going to be in lockstep on something, but they're pretty close on this in terms of their significant concerns, horror even. Somebody said to me today, I can't think of any single individual who'd be more damaging to public health than RFK. Keep in mind, I think if the reporting's correct and the job is the Secretary of Health and Human Services, that comprises the CDC. we just got through this pandemic, comprises the FDA.
Yes.
Comprises the NIH.
Yes.
He's talked about wanting to basically strip funding for infectious diseases overall.
No.
Again, just coming out of this pandemic with concerns about other viruses and things out there.
He talked about gain-of-function research, okay, which is essentially biowarfare. So stop lying about it, Sanjay Gupta, you damn shill.
The challenge, I think, is that at the same time, there is this whole idea that we're not a very healthy country. We spend $4.5 trillion on healthcare, and we have some of the worst outcomes in the developed world. And our food supply and other things are partly to blame, things that he's talked about. So there's these kernels of agreement with regard to the medical establishment and the public health establishment in particular. But then there's these other things, like Caitlin was just talking about, that they're not alternative views, they are false views. People often say, well, these are alternative views. They're not. People say, well, look, I think maybe vaccines.
Yeah, sorry, Sanjay Gupta. No respect on your name here. And hearing that there's horror sounds pretty good.
He says lockstep. I believe he means goose step.
Yes.
I believe that's what he actually means. He wants everyone falling in line, doing what they're told for profit. We've seen this. And honestly, if they were concerned about a vaccinated public, they would shut the border down because everyone crossing over is not on the same schedule of vaccines.
Yeah.
So pick a lane. Pick a lane.
And
Either
they didn't need to
these are important or they
comply
aren't.
with the federal mandates, like people who were flying in through ports of entry. You walk in, well, we're not even checking. And that was the more kind of egregious kind of aspect of all of this. It's like, yeah, you walk in illegally, yeah, don't worry about it. But we want to know about your status. We want to know if you're complying with the shot. And if you're not complying with the shot, you're not allowed entry into the United States legally at a port of entry. Come on, it's ridiculous.
I spent 17 days in isolation in prison because I was unvaccinated.
Wow.
And what they did is that it was a 5-day window, but every time they brought someone else in, someone new in, the 5 days would start over. So you could be in isolation for months. Before I got there, it was a 2-week isolation, and there were guys that spent almost a year in isolation before they even got out into public housing.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely nutty.
That is insane. I mean, it's so typical of government to be just bet.
Again,
I was going to say something, but to be crazy and to be hypocritical but that is horrible. That's horrible
it's
to
not
hear.
lockstep. It's goose step. That's exactly what it is. You will follow the orders you were given, and you will march this way. Like, they literally put arrows in grocery stores to tell us what direction we're walking in.
And people followed it.
Yeah, Simon made sure to follow those orders very closely, right, Simon?
Yeah. I mean, I got in so many fights because I was always doing the opposite. And also in restaurants. So I never wore a mask, and they were like, I was delaying planes by hours, but just not wearing a mask. So everybody had to move to front so I could sit in the back. I had an exemption. They were like, please put it on, otherwise you have to delay. I'm like, I don't care, I have an exemption. And like, they were moving everybody to the front, so I had like 3 whole rows in the back for myself because nobody wanted to be close to me. But I mean, like, why should I?
That sounds amazing. Yeah. You got to lay out with all this.
I did.
That's amazing.
One student came up and she's like, I'm so jealous.
I know, seriously.
This is why RFK's appointment is so important. Because, one thing that I was saying a couple months ago was that when Donald Trump potentially becomes the next president of the United States, which he did, a ploy that could be used against him would be just to release another kind of bioweapon. Release it. Let's replay it back again. Let's do the same thing we did before. But now with RFK Jr. there at a high position of power, that's not going to happen. They can't play that card because they know he's going to respond to it in an accurate way where people like Joe Rogan won't be censored, but actually listened to, along with other medical professionals that actually will care about healing, helping, and solving the larger problem that a lot of these kind of sociopathic madman scientists have created for us. If you look at this kind of larger work, it is extremely dangerous. We still continue to do it. We do it in Ukraine, of all places. Bombs are dropping, but we're still doing gain-of-function research work and germ warfare work. Are you freaking kidding me? That is just absolutely ridiculous. And I think we're finally going to be getting a kind of purview, if we're allowed to happen, if Trump actually gets into office, we're finally going to get a perspective of what's really going on here behind the scenes. And I think this is why a lot of people are panicking and freaked out and pissed off.
Do you really believe that, though?
I think so.
Me with my conspiracy theory mind, but I mean, come on. Almost 250 years of the U.S. government. Have we ever really seen a transparent government?
No.
I think it's less about the government, and it's more about had the people lost the faith in the professionals, in the science, and the people who were giving the information. If we look at the viewership of MSNBC over the past couple of weeks, if we look at independent media, Luke, your channel, Tim's channel, right, quartering all these people, garnering all of these views instead, I think even if they were to release a virus again, right, if they're doing gain of function, as they obviously are, if they do it again, are the public going to follow those rules again? And I have faith they won't. I have faith they won't, and I have faith in that because I saw what just happened this election. I think people are waking up and realizing that we have an option to choose for ourselves, live our own lives, and we don't need someone to tell us how to live our lives.
Yeah.
Okay, and I hope so.
Yep. That's what Javier Milei was saying recently on the Lex Friedman podcast. We got a clip we're going to be playing of his in just a little bit. But again, all the right people are pissed off, and I'm all here for it. And I think the biggest kind of anger now is surrounding Matt Gaetz, who was appointed as the future Attorney General of the United States. He still has to be appointed. He still has to be voted on by members of the U.S. government. Will he be voted on? Well, today we saw J.D. Vance, former senator, out there meeting with other senators trying to lobby for him, as right now there are a lot of crazy attacks against Matt Gaetz, specifically surrounding his kind of FBI investigation that was closed. And we have Senate Democrats that are now trying to get information from that closed FBI investigation against Matt Gaetz. So far, what we're finding out is that they have not decided yet to release all the complete evidence files against Matt Gaetz. And again, these are allegations that the FBI looked into and then officially dropped, as there were allegations of him allegedly being with an underage girl. So seeing these kind of larger efforts here does kind of really highlight to me how there's other foul things at play here, and that they're really scrambling right now to make sure that this man doesn't become the future Attorney General of the United States.
It's a flip of a coin for them, right? So the FBI is not always great at finding out who's sleeping with kids.
Oh, yeah.
Historically.
Oh, yeah.
It's not their forte.
They have a bad track record. They seem to ignore it for 30 years. And then after 30 years, after the children literally come to them, they're like, oh, maybe we'll do something about this now. Like they did with Larry Nassar, like they did with Epstein. So that is true.
Statute of limitations, though.
Oh, well, does that really matter anymore? We saw it in New York, doesn't matter. I will say that they did the same song and dance when Kavanaugh was supposed to be put in for Supreme Court, right? And the same song and dance, the Devil's Triangle story, right? This is also Trump, the allegations, something 30 years ago, he touched me, This is the same song and dance, so I don't think people are buying it anymore. I really, really don't. And these attacks they're doing, I think it's we won the election. We won the House. We'll see if we won the Senate. Pennsylvania has some interesting things going on. But I think this is the death throes. I think they're just throwing out anything they can to muddy the waters, to make it look like these aren't good people. So when they start doing good things, you can't trust the good things they're doing.
Yeah, the Kavanaugh kind of a comparison I think is absolutely fair here, since that whole witch trial was absolutely wild, absolutely crazy. And Kavanaugh isn't even that kind of right-wing. He's more kind of establishment than a lot of the other kind of more populist right-wingers out there. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the way that he's kind of been voting, a lot of Trump supporters are like, why did he put him in there? I don't get it. But the Democrats, literally were putting out all the stops, trying to do everything they could in order to stop him. So how will, the Senate Democrats, how will the FBI now respond? Will they release all the kind of evidence that was put forward against him, or the allegations against them? Probably. And they're probably going to be using it in order to muddy the waters and to attack Matt Gaetz, as The Independent is also now reporting that he's accused of sending $10,000 via Venmo and PayPal. Okay, why are we in his personal life so much? Why are we getting every little detail about what he is doing when we should be investigating a lot of the big pharma companies, a lot of the companies are part of the military-industrial complex, a lot of the other individuals that, of course, have swindled and lied to the American people over and over again through their massive corruption that they ritualistically abuse against us. So to me, everything that's happening right now is absolutely there to try to stop Matt Gaetz, someone that I think is going to be creating a lot of major changes. I think Trump chose him for a reason. he's a man that, of course, speaks up on a lot of important issues. He's not afraid to be disliked. He has been viciously attacked throughout the last few years, and it looks like he's definitely going to be implementing some larger, grander changes at at his position of power that he's going to be hopefully appointed to.
I'm confused though. Is it illegal to send somebody PayPal and Venmo with a few $1,000s? Like,
Nope.
I mean, what are we looking at here? Why does this matter? And also, was there a note attached to the money when Biden received it? When Hunter Biden received money, those $80,000? Do you think it said "love you" or whatever? Like, how come we didn't hear about that one?
For crack and hookers.
Yes. Yes.
With love from Ukraine, you know?
There's
Come on.
literal cocaine left at the White House, right?
That might have been Kamala's, though. I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
Glenn Greenwald had, I think, the right take here. He said specifically the Biden DOJ, not the Trump DOJ, the Biden DOJ intensively investigated possible crimes by Matt Gaetz. After 18 months of leaking to destroy his reputation in the press, the Biden DOJ decided they couldn't even charge him and closed the case. Why are we reopening it up again? Probably to, of course, force him out of that position of power, create controversy, and put pressure on Donald Trump, who was asked a couple hours ago, hey, do you regret appointing Matt Gaetz here? And he, of course, promptly responded by saying nope, and then continued walking, which I thought was a good response.
I want to say as a character thing for Matt Gaetz, he is the, I think he's the only congressman that they, in D.C., they have a Patriots prayer every night outside of the federal prison. I've been there myself. They welcome people out that are being released from prison from being on January 6th. They're every single night. They pray together, have a podcast. It's a place, if you have time to go, you should go. It's extremely, I took my son there. Very moving. Not an emotional guy, but was definitely emotional that night. Matt Gaetz is the only congressperson who has been there with those people. He actually showed up and met those people. If we're talking about the character of a man, that did nothing to serve his political gain whatsoever. And if anything, it's a detriment to his political gain. So why would he show up? Well, I have to assume it's his character. His character says that, his actions say that he is a good man. So when I hear these allegations, I have to reconcile that with what I've actually seen him do in public.
Right. Right. And I mean, again, you have to question, like, you know, they're saying that he potentially sent money or that he, you know, of course, the allegations with the younger women, that's something. But if they couldn't find anything, like, how long until we stop? Like, isn't it, aren't you innocent until proven guilty? Like, I don't understand why we're.
Not if you're a Republican. Yeah, you know a little bit about that.
Well, bits and pieces.
You know.
The View also kind of attacked Matt Gaetz and then promptly had to
love
apologize
this.
for it. This is a pretty indicative clip
Hilarious.
of the corporate media with how they're responding to everything against Matt Gaetz now.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? My understanding, further on in the interview, they discussed the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having sex with her.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
Look at that face.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'm going to set that to my
She needed a
ringtone.
shot after that. She needed to.
She was so butthurt. She was so pissed off. She couldn't lie and slander and just make up things against her political opponent. You could see her detesting every last second of it. And it's good to see that at least there's going to be some people that are going to say, hey, you're actually lying here, and you better apologize. And that's exactly what she did, even though she really didn't want to do it. That was extremely telling.
It's fun to watch the dissonance set in, and we get 4 more years of this. I'm so excited about it. Hopefully 12. But I think that as Trump continues to nominate these people, actually put his plan, his policy into place, and the regular American who already showed up to vote for him because they believe whatever we just had over the past 4 years is horrible, as they start to see that, holy cow, it is so much better, this was the right move, how are these people going to keep their jobs?
You know, that's a great question. But one thing that I just kind of want to separate here is that I'm a little bit concerned because now people associate like Republicans with all this good stuff. And not every Republican is the same. I just got back from a meeting today at Miami-Dade County Commission, which the vast majority are Republicans, and there's a lot of corruption. So I just, like I'm cautious because like you just said, 12 years, hopefully 12 years of this type of, cleaning house, making government smaller, making it work for us, because honestly, it's not just about Republicans or Democrats. It's about the people that are actually doing the work that we need them to do. So I just, I get a little concerned when I hear, yay, Republicans for the next 12 years. Depends on the Republican.
Well,
Depends.
4 years, if they're even allowed in, if World War III doesn't break up. Did they approve the plastic straws or no?
Yes, no. We have all plastic banned, single-use plastic banned in Miami-Dade County, and then they also reinstalled the head of the homeless trust for another 3-year term after 30 years, 25 years more than he was supposed to serve. Who doesn't?
So
even
no more plastic straws?
No more plastic straws.
The hell! I hate those paper ones.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So
They leach microplastics.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. But it's only for government contracts into Miami-Dade, which means all of the port, the airport, like pretty much anything that we actually need to, like, because I carry my little water bottle, everywhere, but you go to the airport and you need a bottle of water. And this is Miami-Dade County. We have hurricanes. Can you imagine, like, a hurricane's coming, you need to find water, and oh no, you can't get water because we don't allow plastic. I mean, the stupidity of these people and the corruption is just, I'm so defeated today. It's like, I hate government. So anyways, when I hear you saying that, and I know you do.
Oh no, I'm
I
with
know you do too. So it's like, oh God.
I think the definition of Republican is what is changing. It is a populist movement. I don't think this is. Hey God, listen to it. Listen to the McConnells. Listen to the Lindsey Grahams. It is not your grandfather's Republican Party. The left is saying it as well, and I believe that, and I want to believe that. And as a person
I love that they got rid of the neocons, or they're in that process. They're cleaning house with the neocons, which is fantastic. We definitely need that. But, I'm just always cautious because, again, when you go to your local politics, it doesn't really matter which team they're on. They tend to be pretty corrupt.
Oh, for sure. And the further up you get the chain, the more elbows you have to rub, the more favors you owe. I mean, I understand corruption is part of the function, right, of government. What I'm saying, though, is I believe that we are bringing in younger people that maybe haven't been there for 30 years and sold every bit of their soul. And maybe, just maybe, that little bit of goodness still left in them might be what we need. I have to be hopeful. I have to be positive.
I think Matt Gaetz is the real deal from my conversations with him, my interactions with him. I think he is going to be cleaning house. I think he's going to be doing an incredible job, and I think this is why the system is up in arms and doing every dirty trick they can against him right now in order to prevent him from being the Attorney General of the United States. But it looks like Donald Trump is standing strong as he just issued this statement that Nick Sorter said is coming out swinging against those trying to smear Matt Gaetz, RFK Jr., and Pete Hegseth, saying, "This is what the radical left lunatics do to the people. They dirty them up, they destroy them, and then they spit them out. They are trying that right now with some great American patriots who are only trying to fix the mess that the Democrats have made of our country. We will win, MAGA." Interesting statement, as of course it does highlight a lot of pressure that's now being put on Trump, saying, hey, you're going to get rid of these guys, right? You're gonna make sure that these radicals aren't in your office, right? He's saying no. Good. I think a lot of other people would have bent to the pressure, would have bent the knee, and would have acquiesced and said, yes, master, please tell me what to do, and I will do it. Trump's not doing it, and I think that's a good sign moving forward.
I'm just curious, what are the most controversial takes that Matt Gaetz has? Why is he being targeted?
He believes that
besides being defamed, and
he believes that the ATF should be a convenience store in Florida, not a federal agency. As of course, there's this clip of him that I have perfectly pulled up. We didn't tell Steph to say that. She said it naturally, but I had this clip already kind of lined up here, highlighting his previous statements that are triggering a lot of the leftists.
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms should be the name of a chain of convenience stores in Florida, not a federal agency. We need to abolish the ATF before they abolish our Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, Absolutely. As of course, he talked about abolishing a lot of different governments and a lot of different government agencies and unfolding a lot of the scams and PSYOPs that they run up against the American people. So again, he has pissed off and angered a lot of very powerful people, and those very powerful people are going after him right now.
He's also in favor of weed.
Yeah.
So
and a Republican.
Yeah, and a Republican. I mean, hey, he already won me over with the ATF bit. So, hey, Matt, if you could see it fit to also slide in there the legalization of a plant, we'd greatly appreciate it.
I was not a fan of how Amendment 3 was written.
Yeah.
I definitely think...
No one here.
Yeah, I voted no. I voted no on Amendment 3.
And
Yeah.
I wanted to vote yes as a man who's like, look, you're an adult. If you want to get high and watch cartoons on a Saturday after working 50 hours a week, taking care of your family, I don't give a shit. Sorry.
But this is one of the things that Trump did so well, which is he kind of slid in legalization through a backdoor with the 2018 Farm Bill. So actually, he legalized hemp and cannabis up to 0.3% on the federal level. But then with hemp, they can convert it to Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10. So he legalized it in a kind of sort of way. And now all we have to do is just raise that limit. And it's legal. So, and the better part is that hemp market doesn't fall to the 280E tax problem. So, like, instead of going down this cannabis market versus hemp market, it should just all be under that same market. And it's done. It's legal. Just raise the limit. We're done.
My concern's always been I go to Vegas often. I go to Colorado, places where it has been legalized, right? And I don't like it when it's out in the open when I have my kids around. Right, you go to an amusement park. It smells like pot. And
Amusement parks allow you to have it. Vegas is really strict about that. Actually,
they do. I mean, but again, they do. Right, this has
Right.
become such a low level. Like, the paperwork to arrest someone for doing that.
I mean, but
they're
it's
not
like
gonna do it.
cigarette smoke. You're not going to get. I mean, unless
Don't
you
like it
smoke it
either.
in. Right. Neither do I. And I think that you'll end up seeing the same thing that we saw with cigarettes. I grew up in a time where cigarettes were. I flew to Europe back in the 90s where you could smoke on an airplane. 9-hour flight on an airplane with people smoking the whole entire time. I'm there with you 100%. And you'll see today you can't smoke on an airplane. You're not going to be able to smoke weed inside of a restaurant. I mean,
There's
I
also
think
the DWIs. I'm a fan of you can purchase these things, closed container, it's at your house.
I want to be able to grow it.
Grow it. I don't
It
care.
should be legal, but in my opinion, you shouldn't be taking it. Right? That's my perspective. If we have alcohol and tobacco that's legal, everything else should be legal too, and not with a black market that the intel agencies get to exploit and bastardize and poison all of the people taking it. That
to fund
are part of
Operation
it.
Gladio, all those things. Yeah.
And look, you're sitting next to CBD oil.
Yes. We'll talk about that on.
He's like, don't take it.
Don't take it.
But take mine.
Well, there's this doesn't get
That's
you all.
different.
This doesn't make you all,
Kinda.
mushy brained. Okay, this doesn't.
The other one doesn't make me mushy brained either.
I don't know about
But
that.
the
We'll
other
argue
one
about
is something else completely. Like, I came here and all of a sudden there's these deltas, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, what are we talking about? It's like THC, but it's not.
But it's naturally occurring in the plant. It's just in the
So
plant. It's not
it's
in these
not
concentrations.
synthetic.
It's not synthetic. 11 might be, I think, but no, 8, 9, and 10 are naturally found in the plant. It's just in small doses.
And what I was talking about was just all drugs in general, including alcohol, including
If
cigarettes
you can drink,
and everything
I
else.
can
Sugar,
smoke.
of course, you should be
Fine.
able to do whatever you want. But you should try to be a little healthier, be a little smarter about your choices. That's just my personal 2 cents. We have super chats. Steph, you want to read them off really quick?
Yes, I do. We have Scrotus Magotus saying Brandon is celebrating his 5th Medal of Honor. Cut him some slack.
All right, keep
Any
going.
comments? Okay, we have Bad Joke 69 from mysuperchat.com saying, Luke, do you think the IRS would still find a way to chase you down in the fallout shelters?
It's weird that you say that because that's exactly what I was thinking today. I was at the gym and I'm like, I just finished doing like a deep dive into all the crazy geopolitical foreign policy decisions and how Europe is preparing for mass casualties and how they're preparing to send and mobilizing 800,000 troops right now. So I'm like, oh man, this is extremely serious. And I'm like, but maybe the IRS won't be going after my huge debt if there's World War III. And I'm like, yeah, but it's World War III. It's going to be really crappy. I literally had that private conversation in between sets. And saveLukeNow.com is the website. We definitely do greatly appreciate your support since, of course, we're getting hit significantly by the IRS with a surprise letter of $100,000. Yeah, that's not fun.
On one hand, we have World War III.
Like, respect.
Yeah.
I didn't even try to do it. I didn't try to do it. I didn't want to. I did not want to. Anger the overlords, but we did. Now we're getting lawyers, and we're going to figure it out, and we're going to fight it. So again,
at least you weren't paraded outside in your underwear.
I wouldn't have minded that, actually. I'm looking for an excuse to post a thirst trap, all right? So if I get...
We're going to have a Roger Stone moment. You're going to be woken up out of your bed in your underwear.
Hold on, FBI agents. Let me do a couple push-ups and a couple ab workouts so I get a little pump in. And then just make sure you get the lighting good, and you make sure you get, you make sure you make it look good, all right?
Make sure to stay manscaped and whatnot, you make sure, yeah.
You don't need all that. The IRS agents now in wheelchairs with guns, so just find some stairs.
We don't have any stairs here, so we're screwed. We're absolutely not doing too well, but we appreciate your support deeply. As again, a lot of things are going to change. CNN has this article talking about how Elon Musk wants to radically reshape who controls American money supply. Yes, Donald Trump is also talking about appointing someone specifically just around crypto, a part of his administration, as he has promised massive deregulation of Bitcoin, as the price of Bitcoin has gone up dramatically. So I'm excited for this, and with the way that things are going, right now, I think in the making of this video, the U.S. national debt has just hit $36 trillion officially. So let me just double check that right now as I also look up the Bitcoin price here.
Meanwhile, Bitcoin was up 94,000 today. So
yeah, wow. I think free Ross and put him in charge of a crypto agency.
100%. That's
right. Isn't that the fix?
It is the
yeah. It's official. $36 trillion is where the U.S. national debt clock has just struck. Holy freaking cow! This is again.
Oh my gosh! Deal. I have a debt clock from Massey. I should wear that more often.
I have that too. I gotta charge mine.
Yeah, I gotta charge mine. It doesn't last. The battery doesn't last very long, but it's an amazing tool, especially when you are out and about with the normies. They're like, "What is that? What is that number?" Just the whole.
We just sent Thomas Macy a care package that he's gonna really appreciate. But yeah, Bitcoin. Almost $94,000 per Bitcoin.
Doge is up to 40 cents, I think.
Yeah. There's a kid that made like $30,000 off of a random coin that he just created, and he's like flipping people off.
Andrew Tate's got the daddy coin coming out.
Does he really?
God, please.
Does he really? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
I did not hear about that, but...
Are you going to buy daddy coin? Is that a thing?
No, I do have some crypto. I do. So I was talking to
You didn't
Malcolm.
lose it in the boating accident?
It's, with my guns, they're all gone. Every single one of them.
It's such a shame. So many libertarians or liberty people just lose their guns and their crypto and boating accidents.
All together.
But the economy is going to be a serious issue for a lot of Americans, especially for Donald Trump, as you're inheriting $36 trillion of national debt. That's a lot of money, and CNN is mad that Elon Musk is trying to change things up. We need to. This is not sustainable. We're paying so much just on the interest alone, it tops our defense budget. That is something that is not sustainable. That is something that is not good. And I think we are very close. And I think a lot of people don't realize how close we are towards a Zimbabwean, Venezuelan, hyperinflation-like situation that could unfold and absolutely wreak havoc, which, thinking about it, might be good for my IRS debt. So unless they adjust it to inflation, and then I'm screwed. But with the way I'm feeling right now with my financial situation, SaveLukeNow.com. I'm just like, screw it, dump it all. Hyperinflate it. Biden, you still got 62 days. Just start printing money out of nowhere and take it down.
Why do you hate America like that? But also, what is this? We owe this thing. This is like a credit card bill that somebody stole my credit card and went out and charged it. I don't feel like I owe that. I don't know. This is a lot of we people here that I don't.
Well, the money keeps going away from the country, it doesn't stay in the country, right?
Yeah.
That is a large reason why we are in debt. And also,
Again, this we word, I don't know. Y'all are in debt.
$10,000
Do you have a
for
Social
bag
Security
of
number?
washers.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Then you're in debt,
Then,
Martha.
yeah.
You're in debt.
And I refuse. Anyways,
Doesn't
as you
matter.
were saying,
They'll come for you. They'll come for your property. They'll come for your everything you own, Martha. So,
We'll watch it in real time with you.
yeah,
Just do
it's
a
happening.
Do a docu-series.
Thinking about
That's
it.
how you raise the money, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
write a book.
Okay, so the U.S. government employs what percentage of the workforce? I know it's a staggering percentage of U.S. Americans.
That work for the federal government?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a few million.
It's a lot, right? On top of that, it's not just directly working for them. The grants that go to companies to produce jobs. The government employs a large percentage of America. You start talking about cutting back the government, you're going to raise the unemployment rate. So that's also going to have an effect on the economy. So this is not just a simple, like, just shut off the valve and the money stops getting spent. We have to figure out how to actually make money. And that really is going to come down to very simple. We need to encourage Americans to start making things again. We need to be producers. It's a very simple concept. We need a generation that are blue-collar workers. I don't think we should be shutting down the DOE. I think we should do is radically change what we invest in for the future. Maybe instead of giving out grants for
Wait, you just said you don't think we should shut down the Department of Education?
I don't.
Oh.
Okay. Just
Blasphemy.
hear me out.
Out of here. We're kicking you out.
And
Out.
here I
How
was
dare
like, oh
you?
my God,
Okay.
you're
What
so
are you doing?
amazing. Oh, no, okay, anyways. I think I'm done here.
Okay.
Please
I
go
will
ahead.
talk about the premise of my understanding and how I think things should turn out. We are very, the knee-jerk reaction to everything is shut it down, kneecap it, turn it all off, right?
Yes.
I think if these agencies existed in the way they were supposed to exist, they could actually be beneficial for the American people long term.
You are aware that the Department of Education only started in 1979.
I understand.
And we had
Kissinger,
education
the
prior
whole-
to that.
Yes.
Okay, so it from the moment of its inception, it's been working the way is intended, and that's why it needs to be shut down. Because all it is a federalization of something that should never have been federalized.
Yes, but there are federal dollars that could be used to implement in states. So, okay,
But why do you need the Department of Education to implement things in states? Shouldn't we have 50 states, 50 experiments, and you kind of pick and choose where you?
because then we just fail children. And I'm not willing to risk.
We're failing children right now.
We are, but
We've been failing children
there's
since
any
we added the Department of Education.
I don't disagree with you. The disagreement doesn't come from I think they're doing a bad job. They are doing a bad job.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a way to implement if it's already existing, right? There's already a way to streamline
Private
dollars.
schools.
Charter schools, private schools, I'm fine with all these alternatives. But if a department exists and we have control over it, why not take the money that's already allocated? Because these things have already been spent in budgets, right? That
Right, but
money's
you
already
can take
there.
the money from the Department of Education. I'm not saying that you have to take that money away, but you can just
Allocate
send
it.
it to the states.
Yes.
You don't need the Department of Education.
Yes, but it's already, I'm saying, okay, it exists. The function's already there. Allocate that money to states to promote blue-collar education, right?
Like trade schools, sure.
Trade schools, right? Instead of sending them to universities,
Let's
right,
put
to
Mike
bring
Rowe
in
in charge of the trade schools for the
exclusively
Sure.
exclusively that, right? I'm saying if there's already an establishment in place that functions at a very streamlined level, take advantage of that. They've already built the groundwork for you.
I'm still going to disagree. I'm going to say burn them down to a crisp. Get rid of them. We've got a flamethrower right back here. I
pulse
volunteer.
fire. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's
It's a
just
great.
go. Let's
It's
just
a great flamethrower. It's
I'm
pretty
aware.
effective.
I volunteer as tribute. Like, let's go. Let's just put it out of its misery. And we can use the money. We don't need the federal agency that's there. I mean, every state has a Department of Education of their
do.
own.
Yeah, I think if we're going to privatize a bunch of stuff and incentivize Americans to make stuff, I think adding curriculum in an independent kind of free market way will be the answer. That will be more kind of reasonable than to do it from centralized top-down forces.
Sure.
So I'm more excited about a lot of people talk about the tariffs. I'm not a big fan of tariffs, but these tariffs would incentivize people to create stuff here in America. And I think if we are going to be taking any kind of funds or have any kind of funds, by the way, I don't think they should be taking any funds. It should be towards building up the manufacturing base of America, creating American jobs, creating American products that will make a lot of consumer goods here tax-free.
Yes.
That right there is something that I'm super excited about, because then you could literally live your life without any kind of larger government theft in your life.
Yes, but you have to build that workforce. It's a generational problem, right? Like these people have to be educated, they have to be trained to go do these things. I'm saying there's already money allocated. if you're saying, and again, I'm not against getting rid of the DOE. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's already in place, right?
I am going to keep disagreeing. I'm just going to keep going back to burn it down. We don't need them. It's not needed. They're
Guys,
not
I'm out of here. My next try to flee.
Simon, what are you doing? You're not allowed to leave. What is
I know.
Did you find your passport?
No, Joseph Fritzl.
I've already
Steph,
called
find his
TSA,
passport.
buddy,
Take it
so
away from him immediately.
Apologize.
All right, Simon.
Bye, Simon.
Good seeing you. We kidnapped him for like 2 weeks, I think, and he was in our guest room living with us. The videos we shot for LukeUnfiltered.com were absolutely hilarious. I'm going to send it to him, so he's going to release some on his Twitter account. But we did a lot of deep dives into health, and we made a lot of jokes, and it was absolutely hilarious. So if you're a member, go check out that content. I don't think we still have a caller, by the way. So, again, you could be that caller. Let me actually go into the chat room and ask who wants to call in. But interesting conversation. I want to play a clip from Vivek Ramaswamy that has just announced Dogecast with Elon Musk that will be explaining what they are doing at the official Doge Department of Government. This is pretty incredible, and this is pretty awesome because this is also, a lot of people are saying, well, Vivek and Elon, it's just a symbolic thing. They're not going to be able to do anything. Our liberal guest yesterday was saying that, and I'm like, well, with now a public podcast, now with everything being kind of sent out to the general public saying, hey, look at this government waste, we want to cut it. Donald Trump is going to be forced to cut it. I think he will. I don't think he needs to be forced to cut it. But now, with all the public pressure, a lot of their cuts are going to be publicly supported by the general public, which is going to be huge. Here's the clip.
As part of that process, I'm now all in. I'm focused on making sure that we actually accomplish the goal rather than just talking about it. So to that end, for the next little bit, I'm going to put a pause on the Weekly Truth podcasts. I've enjoyed doing it this year. It's been incredibly fun and entertaining. I've learned from a lot of the guests, and I've enjoyed communicating with all of you. We're going to put that on pause for a little bit. And as you may have heard, Elon and I are going to start a separate track of Dogecasts that explain exactly what we're doing to the public to provide transparency in what is a once-in-a-generation project. We want to bring the public along with us, to lift the curtain, to take us behind the scenes of what actually that waste, fraud, and abuse in government looks like. However bad you think it is, it's probably worse. But we don't want to do this to just expose the problem. We want to do it to solve the problem. So stay tuned. We're going to have more information about when those Dogecasts are going to begin. We are neck deep right now in transitioning to the new dawn on January 20th. But in the meantime, I thank all of you for your journey this year, for joining us. I've loved doing the truth, and we're just going to put it on pause for a little bit to hopefully embark on this new chapter of saving our republic. Stay tuned for further details, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but having a podcast where we have a government agency getting rid of other government agencies and government projects, I don't know about you guys. No Diddy, but I'm getting out the lubricant and the tissues on my desk when that happens because that's going to be absolutely incredible to watch.
You couldn't have gone with the Malay, like afuera, ripping out departments. No, you had to go there.
Yes.
Oh,
Cut.
God.
Yes. Nail them.
Oh.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
No, with the tissues because
said
they'd
no
be crying
Diddy.
and the salt
Of
from
happiness.
the saline
Of
from the
happiness.
skin.
Tissues of happiness because I'll be crying from tears of happiness.
Yeah, that's
the
where he
same-
was
the
going
same
with
Get
amount
your
that.
mind out of the
tears,
gutter,
yes.
Martha.
Yeah,
Get your
that's where you were going with that.
Martha,
Why do you need
stop.
the lube?
You
Why do
dirty-
you need the lube, huh?
Well, you gotta. I'm trying to think of an answer for that.
Yeah.
Adam, help me out here. Adam, help me out
It's
here.
obviously for the microphones. These are kind of creaky, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to, cry loudly on a microphone. You want to be able to pull it away. So it's
Oh
important.
God,
Yeah.
y'all need. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Anyways,
So, Martha,
Yes.
you know you're gonna be doing the same.
oh boy, I don't know that I will be, Luke. I mean, I do get excited when like government gets cut, but I don't think it's that kind of excitement.
Are you a congressperson from Delaware?
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. But,
This is great. This is comedy gold. I love this.
yeah.
Oh boy.
I said no Diddy.
And I was supposed to understand this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to
Plus,
clear it out.
the Diddy stuff had drugs in it. I mean, maybe that's like, woo.
And that was
no.
baby oil, a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They said they
Yeah,
got it
baby
from
oil with
Costco.
some other stuff.
The lube is for the dry eyes. as people are saying in the comment section, you know, eye lubricant. That's what I was talking about. And tissues of happiness.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Martha, you dirty-minded pervert, Speedy Gonzalez lady.
That is
as
me.
Axios has the next article talking about specifically how Elon Musk and Trump's top advisor are allegedly clashing over the cabinet picks. Now, some of the picks haven't been the best. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a little bit of haggling, a little bit of arguing happening behind the scenes now as Elon Musk is at Mar-a-Lago. He is spending a lot of time there. He's talking to a lot of the advisors. He's going to a lot of the meetings. And, you know, some of the picks... not the best, as specifically we have Lindsey Graham saying that Trump picking Senator Marco Rubio to be the Secretary of State is, quote, putting the most talented person I ever met on the international stage to represent America. Now, Lindsey Graham being happy here, I don't know. I don't like that as well. We also have Trump's latest pick for U.S. ambassador to NATO that also previously criticized Biden for not pushing Russia further enough. Now, I think it's fair to say that Russia absolutely is being pushed, and it is their kind of restraint that is preventing a full all-out conflict, as everyone now is waiting for them to respond to Ukraine, as they are expected to use a lot of their kind of heavy weaponry against them. So, yeah, there's that. What do you guys think?
Oh, boy. Senator Lindsey Graham standing up for the other closeted. I guess they stick together.
In more ways than one.
I bet he put on his party shade of lipstick. Bill, that Rubio fella, he's just such a nice guy.
He's so swell.
You do that accent very, very well.
So I can see why. After all the, quote, backroom dealings that happened, especially with Graham and Rubio, especially with all the allegations against both of them, I could see why they're
together.
They're the best of buddies.
I heard he
sure
led
they
a
are.
private investigation at Senator Chamber video for dozens of hours behind locked doors. I gotta see it one more time just to figure out what these gentlemen is doing.
That video was crazy. That video, for people who don't know the reference, that is an actual scenario and situation that unfolded in Washington, D.C.
We need
where
to
two guys
unpacked.
We need to go to the other place that we stream to so that we can actually have this conversation.
Family-friendly show.
Because this is just getting, I mean, we're just like in the gutter now. We're just like living there.
I have alluded to things without saying things. I'm a gentleman.
Same. You're the one, Martha, who has decided to make them naughty, and you're the dirty-minded person here, clearly.
I am. I'm sorry. Yep. Not sorry. I mean, whatever. I do have 4 kids for a reason, Luke. I mean...
Martha gets busy. I
got 5.
I mean,
I got 5.
I mean, there's a reason why this podcast is dirty today.
It was an accident. I was on an escalator naked, just falling backwards with my wife just over and over again. Like,
it happens.
My God, again.
Again, I know. Like, it just happened. Like, whoops.
Steph, what do you think?
No signal.
No, it's got a Steph.
Steph is computing. Steph is like...
What does Steph have to say right now? We want to know.
The little wheel is going round, and she's just
recalculating. Take control of the conversation. Steph, what's going on?
I told you I'm not dominating anything.
Well, that's not how you get kids.
Listen, we need to outbreed the left, okay? Steph, we're counting on you.
We're
clearly doing our part.
Yes,
Clearly.
I got 5 base sons. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I have 3 base sons and a base daughter.
I'm working on it.
Luke, not hard enough, okay?
Can we say G and R on this podcast? I think my kids are personally responsible for bringing gay and retard back to their high school.
Yeah, I mean, we made a sign out of it that we have exclusively on SaveLukeNow.com.
I was pointing to it, and he took the
right
camera
there,
off of
right
me.
there.
You
Look
go.
at that. We got that
Ta-da!
sign in this house. We say G and R.
I'm gonna put Christmas lights on at my yard.
There you go.
It's a decoration.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's the perfect sign to bring all the people together in your community on saying offensive things that should be said no matter what. We have 2 minutes left here, and then we're going to move over to thebestpoliticalshow.com, another platform where we are going to be discussing Destiny, Tim Pool, and whatever this thing is. We're going to be playing it in full... unleashed mode where we get to say whatever we want about it, as we're going to say that specifically on LukeUnfiltered.com. It looks like we have a caller. The caller is going to be pretty awesome. They're going to be calling in about 30 minutes by through the memberships of LukeUnfiltered.com. But before moving over, we want to tell you about what pays the bills around here, and that is our own company called wearechange.shop. It's a great shop filled with a lot of great stuff. With this one that we're going to have to tell you on another platform, because YouTube doesn't like us talking about this particular thing that Simon brought up a little bit earlier. But we have a lot of other great products on wearechange.shop. As of course, we want you to take control of your health. We want you to feel your best every day. And a lot of people do that through supplements. Make sure to talk to your medical professional, your medical doctor, before taking anything into your body. But we're here to help you find information about these products. Whenever you click on any one of them, we actually have a video in the top right-hand corner about them. So you could do your own research. You could find out what's really going on. You should know where your blood levels are at. You should know what you should be taking, what you shouldn't be taking. We have a lot of great stuff like magnesium, which of course also helps you manage stress, supports your heart, improves your sleep. And we got you covered on a lot of really great stuff, including the Chill Pill, which is our ashwagandha supplement, which is also designed to help you stay focused, stay calm, and helps you beat out those cortisol spikes throughout your toughest days. We also have Essential Fatty, which is also one of my favorites, and something that is really recommended for a lot of smokers. I'm looking at you, Martha. Steph, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, just remember that you can grab the ultimate bundle, which is all 3 supplements, and get a value deal through that. Plus, we also have subscription options, which makes it easy, and you can have a reoccurring offer there. So yeah, check it out. wearechange.shop.
We appreciate your support so much. Atlas does as well. She always knows when we're like moving over to another platform every time, like on the dot. She's like, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to say something. We appreciate your commentary, Atlas. We appreciate your support, as now we're going to officially be moving over to thebestpoliticalshow.com. Right, Atlas? Damn right. And continuing the conversation there in a fully uncensored free speech way. You let them know, Atlas. You tell them. Before moving over, Adam, where can people find out more information about you?
I am exclusively on Twitter. I refuse to give the commies over
X.
at Facebook. And well,
I say Twitter.
I'm going to dead name it. I don't care. I'm over on Twitter. My handle is Lectern Leader. People have a hard time spelling that. It's Lectern.
That is a
Lectern
hard
Leader.
word to spell.
It is. It is. I'm
is.
just there. I got a charity where it's going to go live probably next week. We're just trying to feed some kids for Christmas. So if you want to follow me, you can find some cool merchandise and feed some kids with me.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
That's awesome. Where can people find out more about your charity? What was the website again?
The website's going live next week. We're
Got
going
it.
to do a whole launch. But if you follow me on Twitter, we're going to do a whole. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be fantastic.
What was your Twitter again?
Lectern Leader.
Great lecterns also as well. Martha?
You can find me on X and Instagram at Bueno for Miami. And yeah, this has been great.
I've had a great time.
Yeah.
Steph?
Everybody make sure to head over to the next platform, because the conversation is not done yet. You can find me on X at StephWRC or on Instagram at StephWeAreChange.
All right, we're moving over. Thebestpoliticalshow.com. Find us there. Going to callers in about 30 minutes. Stay tuned for that. And